first of all start by thanking all the residents and parish councils and parish meetings who've come along this evening and shared their thoughts and views with us, and have had the strength to stay through the debate as well. I appreciate how frustrating it can be. I'm sure all of you are saying, oh, why didn't they say that? What's the answer to this? We understand all of that, and I will come back to it at the end of what I want to say. Storm Henk led to the worst flooding in Rutland for well over a generation, and we in this room all have sympathy for those who were impacted by these floods, and a number of us were in different ways as well. It's been acknowledged tonight that our officers worked tirelessly to mount a response within the existing policies of the council, and we're continuing to provide help and support to people who've been affected. And our priority has always been, as has been mentioned this evening, on the vulnerable individuals and families. And we're also lobbying national government to release extra funding for flood-hit areas, including ours who don't meet government thresholds. Tonight's special meeting has given councillors and residents a chance to discuss the issue of flooding, and it's clear that severe weather incidents like Storm Henk and Storm Babet are becoming more common and having a bigger impact on our communities. And while the previous council declared a climate crisis in 2021, this was not matched with sufficient resources until now. And our new administration, as has been said, has made this a top priority and set money aside in its very first budget to achieve meaningful objectives around responding to climate change, although we have to wait until Budget Council to see whether our budget is accepted or not. A strategic flood risk assessment was completed in October of last year, as we've heard, and will help to inform a review of the council's flood risk management strategy. And our new strategy will need to reflect the growing risk of flooding at homes and business premises within the county, and not just the kind of surface water flooding we've seen in the past. And we've also taken steps to commission a more detailed investigation into the causes and circumstances of this month's flooding. It's very easy to do a knee-jerk reaction to anything. It's much harder to be rigorous in your analysis and then make judgments as to what to do to prevent the same level of devastation happening in the future. But that's what we as a council, and I think I can say that for all the councillors in here from what's been said, is what we intend to do. It's a thorough process and can take significant time. Former councillor Gordon Brown, helpfully in his deputation, included a link to a review, a Section 19 review undertaken in Blackpool. That was a really quick one. That only took a year. I've looked at some 20 up and down the country that have taken place over the last few years, and a year is the shortest, and some of them have taken 3 years to complete. I sincerely hope we do not take 3 years, but we will do our best to get it done as quickly as we can. We are being asked by Councillor Stephenson to approve the establishment of a scrutiny review. In inverted commas, the scrutiny committee can actually choose a number of mechanisms to undertake this. So I don't think we as a council would want to be prescriptive. It's something I wholeheartedly support. In fact, Councillor Paul Brown and I met with the chair of scrutiny Monday morning of last week, before we even knew this debate was going to be happening tonight, to suggest to him that he might bring it forward to scrutiny committee as something they might undertake. And I would hope if scrutiny does decide to go ahead, that one of the areas of activity will be resident voice.
Can you sum up now, please, Councillor Waller?
Yes. To take your views on board as part of the evidence that then goes forward to this council.
Thank you, Councillor Waller. Other members? Councillor Stephenson, would you like to sum up as the proposer of the motion?
Thank you very much. I don't want to repeat very heartfelt thank yous from all the members, but I will also say a very big thank you to members as well. Hearing the different perspectives, and I can see one obvious point missing from my covering report to encourage debate, and that is, Councillor Carr, what do you do with a housing estate that as of yet has unadopted highways network? So that is noted. Just a couple of points I want to make, and I will finish on the value that I believe that scrutiny will add to this. Councillor Johnson referred to, and he's absolutely correct, my understanding is that 50 homes need to have been flooded. As of the 8th of January, the only data that the Environment Agency had received was that we had 4 homes flooded, but I think that will have gone up from October. I can see that might want to be corrected because I can see an officer shaking her head vigorously, so I'm very happy for that to be corrected, and that is noted. But that leads me on to the point where we're talking about Section 19, which sounds absolutely fantastic and absolutely to be welcomed and brilliant. What is the value of having scrutiny as well? Clearly, to set up scrutiny, it will be a scrutiny committee to discuss. We want to complement, not duplicate. But I think listening to the debate, there is a desire and a drive and a need, and I know you referred to knee-jerk reaction, Councillor Waller, but actually we need to be able to do things now, and I take your point, Councillor Carr, about prevention. Clearly that Section 19 will be really good on the prevention. However, this evening I've heard a bit of confusion. Actually, the drain's blocked. Right, residents, what are we going to do? Actually, we need to stop that problem because we're about to get hose damage. But quite understandably, the advice is not to go into floodwater. These floods will keep happening while that Section 19 is happening. Scrutiny may be minded. If you are minded to support scrutiny to do this work, there is value to be added as members, as residents, engaging with those residents, looking at the process that is currently in place and whether or not it is being followed, working with the portfolio holder to make sure that we are not duplicating, making sure, residents, that we are engaging with that budget consultation, because it is brilliant to hear of these new posts, but, and this is consultation and I'm not leading into a debate on that, residents may be minded to look at the figure that is being used for capital investment into the draft priority and the refreshed corporate strategy. We need to work together with residents, we need to work together with Section 19s and agencies, etc. But I absolutely hope Council can support the motion for scrutiny to do a really thorough piece of work, whatever form that might take, and we will probably need officer input. There's more than task and finish groups, there's more than reviews, there's some really good things that we can do to add value and just make that really good function. And I will finish there, Chair, I'm sure you'll be pleased to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stephenson. That concludes the debate. The proposal is that Council A notes the report and B requests that the Strategic Overview and Scrutiny Committee to investigate the above matters guided by Council's debate and makes recommendations to the Cabinet and Council regarding the role of Council as local lead flood authority. We now move to the vote, with the exception of Councillor Farina, who cannot vote as he was not in the chamber for the whole debate. All those in favour?
For those able to vote, that is unanimous, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, members. Motion is carried. Item 8, date of the next meeting. The next meeting of Council is on Monday the 26th of February. That concludes the business of this meeting. Thank you, members of the public. Thank you, members of the Council. I declare this meeting closed at 9:10.